Welcome to my annual State of the District address for District 2. It's truly an honor and a pleasure to see so many familiar faces. You are the heart of our vibrant community here in District 2. Tonight is an important opportunity for us to come together to reflect on the progress we've made over the past year and to look ahead at the exciting initiatives and opportunities that lie ahead. They did not give me an introduction. By the way, I am your District 2 Commissioner, Ben Koo. I am the senior member of the Board of Commissioners at Gwinnett County. Thank you all for being here. We understand that a strong community requires collaboration, dedication, and the hard work of many individuals and departments. That's why I'm so pleased to have with us tonight representatives from key county and state departments who are on the front lines. They work tirelessly to serve our residents and enhance our quality of life. So we've got a whole bunch of people to recognize, we're going to start off. I'm not sure, I don't think we have invited some of our federal office representatives, but I don't see them here. I know we have a state representative for Georgia House District 95, Deshawn Kendrick. Where is she? There she is. Thank you for being here. And I noticed we had Board of Education member Adrian Simmons. Thank you for being here. And I also like to recognize the various department directors and deputy directors. There's a lot of names, so I'm just going to go by department. When I call your department name, please stand or raise your hand to be recognized. We have Department of Water Resources, Director Rebecca Shelton, and Department of Transportation Director Louis Cooksey. And I think we have some more out there as well. We have Department of Planning and Development. So we have Deputy Directors Taisu and Roman Dakare. And I think we've got several people from the planning department here for the various trails and parks outside. We have Health and Human Services. I've heard. Yes, we have some people back there. And Community Services. We have our Community Services Director back there. We have Grants Management Division back here. Thank you. We have South Precinct Police Services. And of course, we have our wonderful communications staff who we could not have done this event without. So please thank them very much and give a round of applause. And there's already standing. Thank you so much. I noticed we have BJ and Sandra Pack here as well from our courts. And if there are any other elected officials that I have missed or didn't see come in, please stand. Okay, I think I got everyone. And I think, did we have any of the CID staff here? Do not see them. I'd also like to recognize my confidential executive assistant, Hunter Coleman, who's done an excellent job of managing my office. So he's back here as well. And I'd also like to recognize and thank the District 1 and District 4 executive assistants who are on the side here as well. Thank you so much for coming. I've brought together all these resources here for you, so feel free to take advantage and find them after we're done with the Q&A public portion. We will all be here until 8, so we will be around to answer questions and foster a stronger connection between our community and the services that support us. But first, I'd like to draw your attention to the video I've made covering the key updates in District 2. So thanks again for being here tonight. Hello, everyone. I'm District 2 Commissioner Ben Koo. It's my pleasure to represent more than a quarter of the 1 million diverse residents across Gwinnett County. I'm thrilled to say that District 2 is thriving. Gwinnett County has made significant investments in infrastructure, community programs, and accessibility over the past year. Our district has directly benefited from these improvements in areas like transportation, economic development, public safety, and essential services. Today, I'd like to share some of the significant progress we've made and discuss some of the opportunities that lie ahead. Let's start with one of my favorite subjects, transit. We experienced significant growth last year by expanding public transportation options, including bringing microtransit to Norcross. This has greatly improved access to essential destinations like grocery stores, healthcare, education, and jobs in our community. The unanimously approved transit plan will continue to serve as a framework for the future of transit in our county. Ensuring equitable mobility is a central focus for Gwinnett leadership. Our research confirmed strong public support for key transit elements such as airport access and microtransit, reinforcing our commitment to inclusive mobility options. Gwinnett's need for effective congestion solutions and efficient countywide travel remains crucial. Our county is projected to grow by nearly 250,000 residents in the next 25 years, making this a critical issue. We will seek and leverage funding from state, federal, and local sources as we continue forward in our goal of providing essential services and mobility for all. I encourage you to visit gwinnettransportation.com to learn more and find ways to stay engaged as all mobility plans take shape. Affordable, accessible, and stable housing is crucial to the county's success, both now and in the future. To prepare for the inevitable growth, we've updated our Unified Development Ordinance, creating a Gwinnett for today and tomorrow. This modernized zoning code allows for varied housing options, including missing middle housing, enabling more creative and beautiful types of homes to meet our community's diverse needs. These changes align with our 2045 Unified Plan, which provides a long-term blueprint for community development through the concept of daily communities. We want to create a Gwinnett where residents can access the places and services they need within a 15-minute drive, ride, or walk of their homes. The 2045 plan guides our county's overall growth and land use decisions. Gwinnett was also awarded a $250,000 Livable Centers Initiative grant from the Atlanta Regional Commission. This grant funds projects in areas like Lucky Shoals and Mountain Park, creating more live, work, play environments with improved walking trails, bicycle facilities, and transit. These infrastructure improvements greatly enhance residents' quality of life and fuel our local economy. Gwinnett Planning and Development is also developing a Centerville Small Area Plan. With resident input, we are exploring how Centerville could grow over the next 20 years. The plan focuses on how redevelopment can bring new retail, restaurants, and parks, improve transportation and roads, and provide new housing for current and future Centerville residents. At the state level, we're participating in the Georgia Initiative for Community Housing, focusing on many areas within District 2. This collaboration provides access to statewide housing expertise, improving our chances of securing low-income housing tax credits. The Park Place Master Plan will also apply the daily community framework from the 2045 Unified Plan to the Park Place area. Park Place will serve as the southern gateway to Gwinnett County. It will create a community-driven vision for future development, transportation improvements, housing, open spaces, public art, and more. The county is also prioritizing sustainability, incorporating natural elements and repurposing parking lots to minimize impact on green space. Notably, the former Olympic Tennis Center site will include retail, restaurants, housing, and 50 dedicated affordable housing units. For Gwinnett to continue being a vibrant place where people want to live and businesses want to grow, safety is paramount. The county remains committed to proactive community-oriented policing, focusing on technology, mental health, and community engagement. In the coming year, the Gwinnett Police Department will introduce community service aides, non-sworn personnel who will handle lower-risk tasks such as road closures, abandoned vehicles, and missing person searches. This will allow sworn officers to focus on emergency calls and crime prevention. These positions also offer a potential pathway to full-time law enforcement careers for those interested in policing. Gwinnett is also investing in technology and data-driven policing. Our Situational Awareness and Crime Response Center provides real-time intelligence during emergencies. Camera networks and data analytics will be able to support officers in the field. The Gwinnett Safe Communities program further enhances this by allowing businesses and homeowners to share camera footage with police during emergencies, improving response effectiveness. Addressing mental health crises is another priority. Gwinnett's Behavioral Health Unit pairs trained officers with licensed mental health clinicians to respond to these situations, ensuring de-escalation and access to appropriate care. Our partnership with Viewpoint Health has been instrumental in preventing countless escalations. Thanks to these initiatives, Gwinnett's crime rate continues to fall below state and national averages. Did you know Gwinnett County is in the 88th percentile for safety? That means Gwinnett is safer than 88% of counties across America. We are dedicated to continuously improving and strengthening our public safety measures. While we have tools, we still rely on you to take an active role in maintaining a safe Gwinnett. Prevention measures include always locking your car doors. Many times, thieves try door handles and enter cars that are unlocked. Hide any valuables, particularly firearms, well out of sight, in the trunk, the glove box, or under seats. Park in well-lit areas, especially when you're alone. Look around when you park. If you see anything suspicious, call the police department. On a general note, while voice calls are still the best and fastest way to contact 911, you can now text when it's not safe for you to speak. And if you're in a mental health crisis, call or text 988 anytime for immediate assistance. Before you're in an emergency, learn more about the tools and training offered by the department by visiting gwinnettpolice.com. Gwinnett's 2024 recognition as the nation's most diverse county underscores the importance of our commitment to inclusive and equitable growth. Our policies must reflect this promise, ensuring that every resident, regardless of income, ability, or background, has access to quality housing, transportation, and economic opportunities. We're not just growing as a county, we are ensuring that our growth benefits everyone. A key example of this commitment is the opening of the Centerville location of our Community Resource Center, bringing vital services to a historically underserved area. This center houses partnerships with agencies like Viewpoint Health and GNR Public Health. Viewpoint Health is launching a groundbreaking play therapy and resilience training program, providing families and children with tools to promote healing and resilience as a brand new resource for the region. GNR Public Health will offer services like WIC, making them more accessible to Gwinnett residents. These teams are also excited to provide dental care for children in addition to other vital services. A new child development center offering various programming and childcare options further supports the healthy development of our youngest residents. I'm particularly proud that these services are now conveniently located between our existing senior center and public library, creating a true community hub. Through the disparity study, unanimously supported by the Board of Commissioners, we are proactively engaging with all small businesses to understand their unique needs and ensure equitable access to opportunities. We've identified more than 1,000 touchpoints from long-established enterprises to newly launched local businesses. This proactive engagement demonstrates our commitment to building relationships with small and underrepresented businesses that have often been overlooked. By fostering inclusivity and expanding accessibility, we are building a Gwinnett where opportunity thrives for every resident, now and in the future. As I close out, I want to share how to stay updated on a regular basis. Stay connected by subscribing to my monthly District 2 newsletter at gwinnettcounty.com/District2News. For those interested in serving on a board, committee, or authority, visit gwinnettcounty.com/apply-to-serve. The Board of Commissioners welcomes our most passionate, dedicated residents. For those seeking a deeper dive, apply for the Gwinnett 101 Citizens Academy, which offers an immersive 12-week program about how your county government works. Visit gwinnettcounty.com/Gwinnett101 for more information on the next cohort. I also invite you to join me on my podcast, Conversations with Koo, available on your favorite streaming platform. And you can always email my office at ben.koo@gwinnettcounty.com. Thank you for joining me, and as always, stay vibrantly connected, and I'll talk to you soon. Yes, thanks. This round of applause is really for staff who put this video together, which they did an amazing job. And it also brings to mind, I noticed we have several board appointees in the room. If you are currently serving as one of my board appointees or have previously served as a board appointee, could you please stand up? Thank you so much. All right, so what we will do now is we will transition to a Q&A and panel discussion. So if you have questions, particularly generic questions for the district that we can answer, we will do our best. Please come to the mic, state your name and location for the record, and ask your question. And we will do that until about 7 o'clock, at which point we will end the live stream, and staff will still be available for individual questions if you have something more personal or if you have other questions that are for a specific department. Again, we have lots of staff here that are resources available for you. If you need more information, they are here to help. So we will open the floor if anybody has any questions.
Marina Brinke, 32-year resident of Mountain Park. When is Costco going to open?
So I have to be careful because legal is basically that whole plan, it's still on track. There's no concern, there's no need to worry, but obviously things move slowly, not as quickly as we'd like, but it is still on track. So
Okay.
it will still be coming. I can't tell you when they'll be breaking ground, but we are still on track.
Well, word on the street next door is
Yeah.
this December 2026, which I don't believe what I read on next door, but that's what somebody posted, so.
So our economic development director can fill in some more information.
Can you guys hear me? No. All right. Just needed to hit it on the table one time. My name is Roman Dakari, Deputy Director, Gwinnett County, overseeing economic development. We don't really have a timeline or a date set up. As the Commissioner Koo said, it's a complex project that includes the third-party land, but the conceptual plans that were initially approved and adopted by Board of Commissioners are still intact. We're just working through, lawyers are doing their things right now. But what I can tell you is we already have started receiving permitting and other things that are necessary to get the project going, and they're currently under review. So nothing on the project has changed, it's moving forward.
On track, just, it's coming.
Yes,
On
ma'am.
track,
Patient.
it's coming.
Got it, thanks.
I know not as fast as we'd like, but yes.
Mike Temkin, four-year resident here. Are there any plans to improve the traffic over on East Park south of 78 that backs up all the way down to Rockbridge currently?
We have our director of transportation here, so he can.
Banging on the table.
Hello. There we go.
So there are plans to improve East Park, and we do have a widening project that is in design right now, and we expect to be going to putting it out for bids for construction before the end of the year.
Okay, I'll make a suggestion.
Yes.
If you close up the entrances to Goodwill and the shopping on the empty building on the other side, and have them go in on the side streets, it would really help.
Let me admit something. Because of the Costco question that was asked before, when you asked your question, I was thinking West Park, which is where we have the widening. At East Park, we have a project that you'll see begin construction very soon. When I say, I mean within weeks or at the most a month or two for East Park at 78. And it does include median work, which is going to restrict access to the lots that you're talking about. And if you want to see a plan of what it will look like, then email me, grab a card here now or after, and send me an email, and I'd be glad to get someone to send you a plan of what it's going to look like.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah.
And anytime you have questions, if you can't remember who to email, feel free to email my office and we'll get it to the right people.
Good evening. I'm from the East Park area. I'm living there, and I have a question. I would like to know, was the Jubilee Church bought by Gwinnett County?
The church itself was not purchased.
Oh, what about the land around it?
They did sell a bunch of their land to the county for economic development.
Is that a proposed area for a project coming?
Yeah, so we actually have a Park Place master plan that's in process of being developed right now. So we are taking input, so if you have thoughts, please feel free to reach out. Do we have a website specifically? I think it's...
There's actually a county website for the Park Place Master Plan, and I believe that at the end of June, we should have another public meeting where we will share some of the concepts for the area. And we definitely welcome all of you to come attend.
Yeah, well, I will attend because we have a concern about the pond, the detention pond, and we are wondering if your project gets started and is ongoing, where will your drainage end up? So maybe this is a little bit too early to ask, but just want you to know that we are concerned. We're in the East Park Place subdivision, right across from the church.
Yeah, so that plan, if you want more information, if you go to gwinnettcounty.com/parkplaceplan, parkplaceplan, all one word, and that will get you to a page all about the Park Place Master Plan, what the plan does, how to get involved, and that is currently in development. As far as stormwater issues, that will be handled whenever that plan gets addressed.
Okay, thank you.
So, sure.
Good evening. My name is Franzetta Peak. I met you sooner. I have two quick questions. So this is a shameless plug, but I won't go into details. I'm going to be very political tonight. I won't go into details. Do you guys have any plans on expanding the park, Deshawn Park, or do you want to? That's right on, I guess it's on Deshawn Road, that park?
We have people from our Trails Master Plan project, and we also have, there we go, we got Parks and Recreation Director, Chris Miner, right here. I'm sure he can give us a lot of details. Thank you for joining us.
So right now there are no plans to expand Deshawn Park. There is a master plan for that park. Don't have it fresh in my mind, but I can take a look at it and follow up with you after this meeting, kind of show you what's in it. So right now, in the immediate future, not yet.
Okay, all right, thank you. And my second question is the building that it used to be a Cub Foods. I've been in this community probably about 20, 25 years, and it used to be a Cubs Food, that building where the parking is for county buses or something like that, right by East Park Place. That big, empty, ugly building. Are there any plans to do anything with that?
I'm very familiar with the building that you're talking about. It's a privately owned business. The county is always open to work with our private investors, owners, to try to figure out what is the best use for the property. We've had some conversations with interested investors, both locally here in Georgia. We've had some investors outside of the state come take a look at it. We've expressed our desire from the county's perspective to utilize even some of the incentives that are in existence in the area. We have a TAD, that is the Park Place TAD that is in existence.
That stands for Tax Allocation District.
Yep, Tax Allocation District that allows increment taxation that is accumulated over time to be used for redevelopment. We just not have had a project that go through just yet, but we continue to have conversations on that property.
Thank you.
Greetings, Jeff Cleveland, 20-year resident in the Lucky Shoals area. Question for Ben. Is there a maximum utility that the county reaches for gas stations on the Jimmy Carter Road between 285 and Britt Road? I get calls on it all the time. It seems like there are a couple of gas stations going up. Can you speak on that, please?
Yes, and I'm just do a shameless plug here. If you listen to my podcast, we had a whole segment about the gas station issues. But in summary, we recognize that the gas stations, we've got a lot of them, particularly in the Lucky Shoals area. We have updated our Unified Development Ordinance to require an SUP for gas stations throughout the county. And the unfortunate thing is that only applies to things going forward since, was it 2024 or 2025? What's an SUP? Sure thing, yes, Kate, great question. A SUP is a special use permit. So they are legally allowed, but if somebody wants to build a gas station down the street, right, they have to go through the rezoning process, which means there has to be a public hearing that goes before our planning commission. We have one of our planning commissioners here tonight. And then it has to go through the Board of Commissioners to get approval. So there's lots of, and it also has to go through a staff recommendation. So there's lots of opportunities then for a potential denial. The problem is that was allowed by right prior to that UDO update. And so there were several gas stations that went ahead and got permitted. They did everything right under the laws as they were before that UDO went into effect.
So there are greater barriers to entry now is what I'm hearing you say.
Yes, so there are much greater barriers for entry for a gas station going forward. That's throughout the county. if they were in the Gateway 85 overlay district, they actually have an even earlier time set because that was approved the summer before the UDO went into effect. But again, there's several properties that got permitted before that went into effect.
Thank you.
Sure.
Hello there, I'm Tanya Almack. I'm a 23-year resident of Gwinnett County, and I moved to the Mountain Park area about 4 years ago. I live within a mile of here, right off of Rockbridge Road in the Cambridge Farms subdivision, and I love it over here, I really do. But I will say that I feel like I'm in Street Racer Central over here. They take over the intersection, sometimes they're in the Ingalls parking lot, and sometimes at like 5 in the morning, I can hear them racing. I've called the police several times, and I know that that's a greater, not just Gwinnett, but the whole Atlanta region problem. But I was wondering if you guys had any ideas on how to conquer the street racing issues.
So we've had several takedowns throughout the county to address it, and I will pass this over to our police department to say if there's anything in that specific area. But a lot of it, I know we've had success in the past. Please do report it if you hear it. It is not addressed overnight, but what our crime center will do is they'll go through and scour social media, find out when the drag racing events are or when the intersection takedown is going to happen, and they can monitor that, and they can lock down the area and then make several arrests. I think, what was it, 96 arrests we had in Peachtree Corners a few years back? Something like that. But and with all the new flock cameras, we're also able, even if somehow they slip by, we're able to track them not just within Gwinnett County, but if they go into other counties, we can actually track where that car goes and find out. So I'll let you add more.
Sure. So obviously, please call. If you see this happening, please call us, because we are obviously not everywhere at once. The community is the eyes and ears for the police department. Without the community, we are not successful as a police agency. When we do have these takeovers, officers respond. Unfortunately, you typically have 50, 60, 70, whatever it is, and then you have 2 or 3 police officers that are initially responding. So as soon as police get there, everybody's seen it on the news, the blue lights come on, and people jump into cars and they flee. However, with the technology that we do have, we have the crime center, and we've got some of those people in the back that can explain far better the camera systems that we have and the abilities that we have with that than I can. But we have the ability now to track, and we can track them. And my CRT team, community response team, last summer, we had one down here at Five Forks and Pounds, I want to say it was. They used the technology that we do have, went back, and they wound up arresting. Of course, this is after the fact. It's not during the immediate event, but they went back, and I forget how many arrests that they actually made from following up with the technology and going back and doing all that. So it's something that we have. We have the ability. It's kind of like a detective working a case. A lot of times we take it then because we can't make the arrest necessarily right then because they flee. And our chase policy does not allow us to pursue them. So we do what we can on the follow-up end. If we know that they're coming, we can a lot of times reach out to an organizer of it and tell them, don't do this, and we take the preventative measures if we can, if we know about it, but otherwise we do follow up on them.
Okay, thank you so much.
Did I satisfy your end?
Yeah, it's just interesting because it sounds like the Indy 500 sometimes.
Oh, especially at 5 a.m., I understand.
Right.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. James Long, 24-year resident. Concerning the area where the Costco supposedly is going to go, is there an official name for that area, and does that project include other projects happening at the same, I'm sorry, does the name of the complex or whatever and the time of development, is that all be happening at one time, or is that just?
So all the development efforts, we're calling it the Southern Gateway or Park Place as the area. It started with the old Olympic Tennis Center site, and that's typically what we refer to it as the old tennis center site. And that property is under contract to be purchased by Jeff Fuquay of Fuquay Developments, and he's the one who's organizing the all the businesses that are going to be part of that development. And so that's that site. It's basically the old Olympic Tennis Center site and some of where the old Target was, their parking lot. And that's where the Costco and the housing and several restaurants are going to be added. And then the county has purchased some additional properties by the Jubilee Church.
Excuse me, where's the Jubilee Church? I'm not sure which church that
So
is.
it's just in, let's see if I can. North of 78 in that Park Place ring, you know, that kind of, there's a loop that goes around. Here, let me, or East Park Place, sorry.
Oh, okay, next will be Georgia. Okay.
where's the-
Okay.
Yeah, but that area, okay, here we go. This is not as big as it could be, but it's, yeah, that East Park Place Boulevard that kind of rings around there.
Okay.
So that whole area, we are looking at how we can redevelop that whole area to make it much better, because we know there's a lot of empty big boxes and big parking lots. There's that suburban hellscape, whatever you want to call it. We're looking at making it a much more inviting place, creating a sense of place, bringing better restaurants in, having more walkable spaces, park spaces, and inviting, just much more inviting community.
So is it conceivable that all this construction could be going on at the same time?
It'll probably be staggered, because the tennis center development is already on its way getting permitted and ready to put shovels in the ground, hopefully soon. The rest of it is still in the planning stages, so you're not going to see any construction for several years.
Okay, and one final question. I read, in fact, today in my, I guess, the water bill, there's a proposal for expanding 124 again from between 78 and Ronald Reagan to 6 lanes or something like that.
Do you know that? I do. Oh, we got our transportation guy.
Yes, we have in design right now the widening of Scenic Highway, State Route 124 from 78 to Ronald Reagan. That property is in, that project is in design, and it does have federal funding in it though, which takes a longer process for us to go through for environmental permits and plan reviews. We should begin purchasing right-of-way for that next year. It's probably a good 3 years away from construction, though, three and a half to 4.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jennifer. I'm not asking anything today. You've answered all my questions. Thank you so much.
Good to see you.
Yes, you too. So I have 2 questions about the properties. Crystals on 78. I know there's some kind of sign in front of it from the county. But the Dunkin' Donuts told me they tried to buy it, but they couldn't. So I don't know what's going on with that property. But it's...
We can find out. Do you know what it is?
I don't know. I know that Dunkin' had to cross it for their sewer, but that's all I know. They wanted to buy it, and they told me that whoever owns it's still making money off whoever leased it, so
So
they're
if-
probably not going to sell it anytime soon.
If you do pass that sign, any of those signs should have a case
know, but
number
I
attached.
can't,
I know
like,
it's hard
'cause,
when you're
like-
when you're driving by. It's hard to see. If you can find a case number, if it is a zoning sign,
Then they're doing something.
you could just reach out.
That's what I thought. I was
and
like, are they going to put something
Our
here?
team can look it up for sure.
Okay.
If you ever get to one of those zoning signs and you do happen to notate the case number, one of the things that I've had staff do is create pages on our website for every zoning case. So if you go to gwinnettcounty.com/SUP 2025- whatever
find
number, if you type that into your URL, it should get you to a page that gives you all the case details
Oh, okay.
and all that
Okay.
information if you just have that case number.
Okay, all right. And then there's another one, and it's, I don't know if it's kind of out of the, whatever you want to call this area, but it's, you know how there's so many in between areas. But on 78 in front of the Home Depot, there is a old car wash, and it's great they built a Starbucks, because that's great, because they're trying to make it look good. But next to it's an old dumpy car wash, and I'm like, what are they going to do with that? That needs to go too.
So we can look into it. That's exactly the type of thing that our code enforcement's designed to do, is to make sure that things don't look dumpy.
It looks really bad. And then too, like, this is another thing I wasn't even going to talk about, but across the street from it's a Gwinnett Inn that's probably been there since like 1982. Just wondering too about the code enforcements on that, if they were ever going to make that go away.
We can definitely take a look.
And then, yeah, because it's really bad. Like, anyway. Also, as far as dumping problems, like right behind that Crystals, there's a little, I don't know, I think it's Club Drive. No, it's not Club Drive. I don't know what the road's called. It might be Club Drive. It is it? Yeah. Well, yeah, there's a really bad dumping problem. Like people are constantly, I mean, big items, like right across from the vet that's on that road. I pass it and it's really bad, and I've called about it, but I don't know, it's all just junk. Yeah, it's really bad. I guess because no one really goes down that road that much maybe, so they just kind of don't think about it, but.
So I see Tyee taking good notes here. She will
you.
pass those along to our code enforcement team, and we will take a look at
Great,
those.
thank you. And I do want to say I appreciate all your help, because last meeting, we've been in touch about the road I live on, and he's not ignored me, he's really answered my questions, and I spoke with, I guess, Erica, and she told me some of the things that are up and coming, so I really appreciate your help.
And what we've discussed is in design, and we're working our way through putting traffic calming elements into the project.
Yeah.
Jennifer, if you need help in making contact too on the code enforcement issues, you've got my email address. And even though that's not my area, send me an email and I'll connect you to the right person.
All right,
I'll be glad
I
to help.
appreciate it. Thank you so much.
And that's the case. If you guys ever see anything that looks out of place, that looks dumpy, that looks that needs work, needs a little love and attention,
There's a lot of dumpy stuff around here.
yeah, just email my office. We will get it to the right people. We will have code enforcement take a look and see what can be done.
Okay.
Can't promise it'll be done overnight, but these things usually do get addressed.
That's good. And I promise I'll move in a minute. There's a line behind me, but maybe this will answer questions. But you're around the economic incentives and stuff, right, to get businesses into the area? Because I've found that there's lots of great places for businesses. We really don't need any new things built, just facelifts on things. I don't know, is the county trying to give it, businesses like tax breaks and things to come in and maybe open their businesses over on this side of town versus, Sugar Hill, Beaufort, that kind of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. So our incentives are uniform throughout the county. So we don't have different incentives for different parts of the county to try to attract people to different places. That's not me, right?
They should, because there's parts of the county more people want to, it's obvious.
Right, but we also have to take into account what the businesses are looking for. When a business is looking for a location, they have a set of criteria, and we try to fit them into the area that most likely works for them so that we don't lose them to another community. But we do have a very robust incentive packages that we do have to attract and retain businesses, to facilitate redevelopments, and we are more than happy to use those. If you have some properties you want us to take a look at, please send it to us, and we'll see if we can facilitate and talk to some of the developers that we work with.
We do also work with the Chamber in partnership with Gwinnett to do incentivize businesses to come, and that's part of why if you look at where the county is investing money, the county has funneled a lot of money into this Park Place master plan. That is a show of faith that the county is really looking to invest heavily in our area and to really improve this area with funds. Again, the purchasing of property is one way that we can incentivize, and hopefully when the Costco comes, that will put a lot of money into the TAD that's there, as they were saying, which it can be basically locally directed funds. So that can be used to reinvest in this community to make sure that we do get more attention down here because it has been traditionally neglected.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Okay.
Sure thing.
Evening. My name is Jeff Estes. I live at the Villas at Park Place. There was a pretty large tract cross street there. I don't know if there's anything on the books there, but I'm definitely excited to hear what you're talking about with East Park Place. One thing, obviously, with challenge becomes traffic. And I'm just wondering if there's any look at Park Place, because it's a racetrack. And people regularly drive 60, 65, they just don't care. Once you pass Amazon up to Rockbridge, I don't know if one of those little flashing signs that says, hey, by the way, you're 20, 30, just to pop in their head. Or I know it's easier said than done, just curious, because that's a real problem area, both noise and speed.
Yeah, we definitely can set up speed monitoring, right? Yeah, so we can do that. And I think Lewis has mentioned that we've got several road improvement projects in the
Yeah,
area.
certainly be a gold mine if officers have time to park there now and then.
We regularly patrol down there. Our Special Operations Motors Unit, they spend at least 2 days, typically a week down here, and they camp out at West Park and 78 and East Park and 78. And they write a boatload of tickets. I don't know how many. They are there. You don't necessarily see them when they're there, but
Understood.
they are there, and they write a tremendous amount of citations for speeding and other moving violations in that area, along with the officers of the South Precinct, our CRT team,
Sure.
et cetera.
Yeah, I appreciate what you do. Just didn't know if there's anything technologically that could be considered and
So
looked
we
at.
can put the speed signs up, yes, and do the speed studies. Unfortunately, you don't issue a citation from those like a school zone ticket.
Right.
Those are different, and I don't know if you have any further you want to add.
Well, I also, you asked about technology, and I thought that was a good place to talk to about how we in the Department of Transportation have partnered with the police department. For years, we've had a traffic control center where we have traffic cameras at almost all of the traffic signals throughout the county. And then not too long ago, we partnered with police as they've opened the Crime Response Center, and they now also have access to all of our cameras. In addition to that, they have placed flock devices around the county that picks up tag numbers as vehicles travel through. And so it's been what the chief likes to call a force multiplier. So that through the technology of the video and then in addition with the flock cameras, it's really been a game changer for law enforcement. And I think it's one reason why we've seen such a high success rate as what we showed in the video, and we've seen crime rates come down.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it is a challenge, especially in a seniors area. That's a real concern. Thank you.
Harold Walker, 50-plus years in southern Gwinnett and Norcross and Lilburn, mostly in Lilburn. I want to address the intersection of Arcado and Killian Hill. Is there any plans to do anything with that intersection?
We have been looking at Arcado and Killian Hill recently. We don't currently have a funded project, meaning there is nothing imminent, but we do have it in our comprehensive transportation plan for future improvements. So nothing's coming immediately, but we are aware of the issues there. You haven't lived there for a long time. You know we were there not too many years ago improving the intersection to what it is today, and we recognize it needs improvements again.
Yeah, we've been battling that intersection there for as long as I've been in over 50 years, about the corner there, and they finally passed to build over 100-something townhomes. I think it's called the Preserve, Killian Hill or something like that. Just recently, there's been the signs put up on Arcado, no left turn into that preserve. I don't know why they do that, but I live on the next street from that. It leads in, it's Arcadia Place that leads into the Killian Hill Manor area. So now they can't turn left into their preserve, so they turn into our neighborhood. And we've had problems with people running through that neighborhood to cut the light up there anyway. I don't know if you're aware of it, but why would you put a no left turn into their own subdivision, their own townhomes?
Yeah, I'd like to look further into exactly why we put the left turns in. I could make a good guess, but I'd rather get into the specifics. So if it'd be okay, let me look into that one a little further and get you a solid, accurate answer. If you could get my information before you leave,
Sure.
I'd be glad to look into that further and get you more information.
I can pretty much tell the reason why, because it backs up from Killian Hill all the way past, Cole Road on that way, and on the other way, it backs up on Arcado all the way up to 29. So that's the reason, because if we want to turn left there, you've got people blocking the intersection at Killian Hill and Arcado. So you pushed them another 100 yards down the street and put them through my neighborhood. So I don't appreciate that a bit. And this one for code enforcement. Anybody here from code enforcement? Okay, we've turned in some concerns, gone online, filled out the forms, and turned in some concerns of some things that's happened in our neighborhood. It seems like it's like 4 or 5 days later, we get a reply back to them saying that it's been addressed and the issue is taken care of. 6 weeks later, the issue's still there. Nothing's been taken care of. And we fill it out again, we send it again, and so, okay, that's just the second notice you sent in. When 4 or 5 days later, it must be a robotic thing. They send a note saying, we're looking at it. It's been taken care of. It's done, but nothing's done. So I need to know why we're getting answers back from them saying that it's been satisfied when nothing has actually been done. It's still the same way.
Can I get your ticket number or something so we can look it up to see what's going on? Yeah,
Sure.
I'll be happy to follow up.
It's just a lot of other things in that neighborhood. Like I said, I've been in here 50 years, and we've seen a lot of changes, and it's just all kinds of things we turned in, and sometimes they're addressed, and sometimes it takes a long time. I don't understand why we're getting notices saying it's been taken care of and it's done when the issue's still there.
Yeah,
I'll get with you and talk.
Yeah, we're working on a new ticketing system. So if you have case numbers or anything like that, we recognize it can be a black box sometimes. So if you ever want follow-up on any cases or things like that, just feel free to email our office and we'll dig into it for you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Nico Parra. Hi. Thank you, Commissioner Koo, and the team for hosting this town hall. I'm a resident of unincorporated Lawrenceville. I've been there for almost the past 20 years. My family's been there for longer. I'm also the son of 2 immigrants from Colombia. So my question is, and I'm sure you're very aware of this, but a lot of the unincorporated areas of Lawrenceville and Lilburn have a lot of immigrants in there, a very diverse area. I am aware that the Sheriff's Office used to participate in 287G, but I believe the current sheriff has, would remove that program from Gwinnett County. What is the current status of, let's say, not only Sheriff's Office, but also city police as well? What is the level of cooperation, if there is any, with ICE, right? What levels of protection are they giving to, let's say, students, right? Because there are concerns that, people in my community think that, okay, well, they're going to raid schools, they're going to raid churches, right? Business places, right? Could you give me more insight as to what's happening currently within District 2?
Yes, I can't give insight onto what the Sheriff's Department does because they are their own independent organization. I don't think we're doing any kind of raids or takedowns like that, but I will leave it to the police to say what.
We are business as usual. You are the victim of a crime, you call the police, we respond, we take care of your issue, we don't ask you your immigration status, none of that's done by us.
So if someone is pulled over by the police, right, the police do not check their citizenship status or no? Okay. And is that still part of the Lake and Riley Act? Has that been in effect yet for Gwinnett, or is that not what?
I can't speak to that.
Okay.
I don't know the answer.
Okay, sure.
But I can tell you, we are business as usual. You're the victim of a crime or whatever. We're not checking your immigration status. We're not checking your citizenship. We never have, and we're not starting.
And so I understand that the Sheriff's Office, is involved, but for city police specifically, there is no really level of control unless the chief decides to ensure that all of their police officers are in compliance with that, correct?
I can't speak for the Sheriff's Office,
Okay.
nor can I speak for any of the city agencies.
Okay, all right. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Hi, I'm Dave Malloy. I'm a resident of Mountain Park for 27 years, Summerhill subdivision. And obviously our neighborhood butts up against Rockbridge Road. And just a couple of things, and I'm not sure what the county, how the county handles this on a normal basis, but I typically have to go into the county website and request, particularly in the wintertime after all the pine straw has fallen and the road is just a mess. I mean, there's pine straw along the curbing that's this high, and then I'll fill out the form. They'll come out and do a great job cleaning it up, but it's like, why do I have to fill this form out every year to get somebody to clean up a main road like Rockbridge? It clogs up the drainage. And the sidewalk is a mess. It's just every winter, particularly, it is just. And I'm sure there's other roads like that aren't taken care of. I'm just wondering why that's something that I have to fill out to have somebody come up, and it seems like there should be a regular maintenance thing for main roads like that.
Dave, first, thank you for reaching out to us in the past and for making us aware of that. We do want to get better about maintenance. We have 2,700 miles of roadways that we maintain in the county. If you stretched all of our roadways end to end, you could drive from here to into the Pacific Ocean. So it is a lot of roadway to maintain. I don't say that as an excuse, it's just the scope of what we have. And so we appreciate what you've done. I do want to let you know, though, what the county has done for us, the Department of Transportation. In this year's budget, the county provided to us additional maintenance workers, and specifically for this area and the area around Jimmy Carter Boulevard and Lilburn. So we actually have added maintenance workers to this area, and we've been in the process of hiring them since the budget was approved in January. So we'll have additional workers. One thing that happens is that throughout the summer months, to keep up with mowing and cleaning the roadways, we use contractors to assist our in-house workers, and that way we're not carrying employees all year round when we have a bulk of work in the summer. And so those contractors, their contracts will end in November, and then we will bring them back in late March, early April as things are growing and pick back up. And that way we can be most efficient with the taxpayer dollars. But then we're carrying through the wintertime with our in-house crews. And depending on how many ice storms we have, how many windstorms we have, how many trees we have, that we're picking them up through the winter, really does affect how we're able to do with other things like sweeping and road cleanup. I will make sure that we get the Rockbridge Road area on the list so that we're paying more attention to that throughout each year, so you don't have to continue to call in. But we do appreciate that. And since we're getting close to time, I would like to share with the room too, if I could, what a tremendous turnout we have, and it shows how much we care about our community when we come to meetings like this. And so I do appreciate everyone that's here and all your time and efforts, and being an advocate for the community, being willing to reach out, turn in a service request. That helps us do our jobs. And so we appreciate that you've done that, and we appreciate it when anyone does that here, and then we also appreciate you being here tonight. So I hope that helps with that question.
Thank you. I'll add one more thing just for the police. That section of Rockbridge on a Friday and Saturday night, people are driving 100 miles an hour on that. I mean, it is just crazy. I think you could fund your entire department's budget by just sticking somebody at the end of our neighborhood and get a radar gun, because it is crazy. Out of the noise, I mean, it's just, and we go down, you don't even want to be anywhere near Rockbridge Road on that section of Rockbridge on Friday night, because it's scary to see the people just drive crazy.
Good evening. My name is Lana Barry, and I'm the owner of a home on Brick Circle for 25 years. Brick Circle runs into Lilburn Stone Mountain Road. And we have called the police. They've done the speed check and everything maybe 2 years ago, but things have just gotten worse. 25 years ago, I had a difficulty when the neighbor at the front put up a fence, so you can't see when you're getting out. Now, on top of that, people are driving 50 and 60 miles an hour. I have to get out and turn on Wyandotte sometimes. They're going to be on you, and they're blowing you, and they're going to get into your side. You guys have to do something before somebody dies on that road. It is that bad. Please, and then sometimes when they miss their turn, they circle around on Brick Circle like they're crazy. So please do something about Brick Circle and Lilburn Stone Mountain Road. I don't know how you're going to slow the traffic that takes you up to Parkview Church or whatever, but it needs to be done, and I'm begging you to please do that. And I also want to say one more thing. Thank you so much to code enforcement, because they're very responsive to me, and I really want to say that thank you. And Commissioner Koo, you're the best. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Lillian Batay, and I am a resident of a senior citizen apartment complex, which I moved to this area 6 years ago in a brand new building. I love where God has me for such a time as this. However, the property has not been maintained since we moved in. The rent has continued to rise for the senior citizens, but the property that has continued to decrease. 1 year ago, we did come before the Gwinnett County Board of Commissioners, and I thank God because they heard our cry. And Commissioner Koo, along with the whole team, came to the building to see what was going on. I was hoping to be able to come tonight and say thank you for the improvements, but it's now in worse condition than it was a year ago. We have an elevator that has not worked in 4 months, a call box that nobody can let anybody in unless they come to the front door to open the door. The sprinkler system outside is no longer working, which is bringing down the property as far as the landscaping is concerned. And I am hurting right now because even though I live on the ground floor, I'm watching my neighbors in walkers and canes that are struggling just to be able to get to the end of the hallway for the only working elevator to come all the way back down to try to get mail. And when I heard one of the residents say that there was a lady that had not been out of her apartment in 3 months, it broke my heart. So we have made calls to everybody that we know. I can't say the code enforcement did come out a year ago and a whole lot got done. But it's right back in the condition or worse than it was again. We're now being told that that department has now been turned over to the fire department. But every time a lot of the neighbors are calling, they just keep getting a runaround from one department to the other. Please help us to figure out what to do. Because I'm at the point of asking. I know that I was told that the Gwinnett County Commission or some department here in Gwinnett has to authorize any buildings that are being built. Is there a possibility of Gwinnett County Commission regaining custody of their property and turning it over to a nonprofit organization to allow us to manage it ourselves? Because I know that we as the residents, there's enough senior citizens in this building that have enough skills, expertise, knowledge, and education that can do a better job than what's being done right now. And we are begging you for your help. Thank you.
So I noticed the time is 7:02 now. Thank you so much, Lillian. What we're going to do is, again,
Please let her ask this question.
she's already asked a question. So what
I'm
we're going to
asking on behalf of her. She couldn't stand.
Okay.
I can't stand up to get it.
So we can take one more question, but again, we have lots of staff here. If staff can just raise your hand again. Everyone here will be available afterwards, and we can get into detail with your specific questions. So.
Well, this is for Miss Vivian Miller here in the purple jacket. She wants to know what's going on with the houses that are being built on Riverside Drive in Lilburn, if that is in fact District 2.
Is that District 2? They're supposed to be building a park there.
If it's Lilburn, it's District 2, but the things that might be the city of Lilburn, which it's the city of Lilburn. They control their own zoning and planning, and so the Gwinnett County wouldn't have any say over the building there.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Do you mean Riverside off of Lincoln Road?
Thank you all for being here tonight, and again, we will be around for questions. Again, thank you for being here for the State of the District.